Hello everyone, welcome back to Skills for Chasers. In today's session, we will talk about append queries, and this video is in continuation to our previous video where we saw how do we clean some rows from the data. And over here, we will also be seeing a practical use case of where that row cleansing is required. So let's jump back to the Excel and see what we have to do in today's session. In the previous Power BI file, we already have the data of our e-commerce business where they had sent us the data of their 4 regions on which, we have already created the report as well. Now, what that company has done is they have sent us some more data. So what they have done is they have opened some stores in 2 new regions, right? So if I see over here, this is the Excel in which the data is being shared with us by the client where they have, captured that data up. So if you see over here, the data structure is exactly the same. We have the same columns and the same column names. The only thing that is different over here is that is the data. So you will see in the column of region, we have 2 new regions over here, right? One is by the name of new region and second is by the name of new region 2. Now, plus we can also see this Excel file is not very much cleaned up, right? If you will see over here, we have some word data written over here. There are some blank rows, then there are some blank rows over here as well. So first of all, we would like to understand how Power BI is going to react when we load this Excel file. And then what we will be doing is we will be seeing the concept of append queries. Let's go back to our report where we already have the data of the previous file and we can clearly see we have only these 4 regions over there. So how do I bring the data over here? I will click on Excel workbook. And I'll go to my folder and I will pick this file of e-commerce data, which is new region. So I'll click on open. We can see all the 4 files that we have in that, the Excel file. We can see all the sheets over here right now. I'm going to load the data from orders. I'm going to check this up. See, in the preview itself, you will see that there are going to be some issues when the data gets loaded in the Power BI desktop. You will see we will get some blank rows. The word data is coming as a header over here, which is definitely wrong. My headers should be this over here. So without doing any much things, I will first of all click on load. So the data is loaded. Now, once the data is loaded, you will see orders 2 is also visible over here. The second file has been loaded. But what I'm going to do right now is I will go to the home tab and since we need transformation of the data, so I'm going to click on transform data over here. So if I click on transform data, a new window will open for me where all the transformation steps are done. So here I will see this is orders. This is the previous data that we loaded. And this is orders 2, right? The data of new region that we have loaded over here. So the first thing what I will do for a better understanding is let's rename this orders 2 as orders new region. And how can I do that? For that, if you come over here, you can see the name of that table over here. And in this, I will simply write orders new region. And we can see the data has been renamed. The data set has been renamed. In order to get rid of these blank rows, see, these are complete blank rows. So what we can do, as we learned in the previous session, I can click over here on remove rows. And I will say remove blank rows. See, that will help me to remove all the blank rows. Even if there are any blank rows in the middle of the data or in the last, they will also be removed. Now we can see the blank rows have been removed from the data. But the problem that I see right now in this case is my headers are not coming properly, right? So I need to tell Power BI that my first row should be used as a header. And for that, we have an inbuilt step in this, which you will see over here, which is use first row as headers. So the moment you click on this, Power BI will get to know that the first row has to be used as a header. And that's not. You will also see when you say use first row as header, Power BI is actually going to apply 2 steps. So first is my first row was promoted to the header. And second step over here is because headers got moved out, So data type assignment has been redone by Power BI so that the data is properly aligned based on the kind of data we have in each column. So that's where again Power BI is smart enough to help us to identify the data types for us. Now my data is properly sorted. Now what I would like to do is, since my data is in two separate sheets, so if I want to do a more comprehensive analysis, my data should be combined one below the another. So that basically is called as append queries. So to understand it better, say for example, I have two data sets. In one data, I have ID and name. Some IDs are given to me and the names are given to me. And in the second file, in the second data set, I have ID and name. And over here, I have 4, 5, and 6, and the names are given E, F, G. So technically, what I want to achieve over here is the data which is currently in two separate sheets. Don't you think it will be better if I am able to bring this data below this file itself? So which is called as append queries. Append queries means this is more like concatenating the data one below the another. Concatenating the data one below the another. Now, the only thing that we have to take care over here is while we are appending the data, the only thing is the header names should match, right? My headers should match. So if it is, even if the sequence is different, right? Like for example, let's say my data set was like this. Name was given first over here and then the ID, right? So my sequence is not the same. It is ID and name over here and name and ID over here. But nothing to worry. Power BI will put ID below ID and it will put name below the name. So that's how that append queries work. Also, in case, if suppose another scenario is, my one data is this, and in the second data set, I have employee name and ID. Now, append query will work in this scenario as well, right? Append will still happen. It will not give you any error. But what will happen is in the output, you will get three columns over here. One will be ID, name, and employee name. So what will happen? ID and name will come as it is over here. This ID will come below in this because ID to ID column is matching. But employee name will not come under name. It will come in the third column over here. And this will become null. And this over here will also get null. So while you are appending the data, only thing you have to take care of is your column name should be same plus your data types should match, right? In case the column names are not in the sequence, so before appending, you can rename the columns so that both the data sets have the column names at the same level. Once that is done, you just have to go back to your Power Query. See, now over here, what I want to achieve is I have two tables. See, now one option is I make a third table itself. I make a third table where I combine the data of these two tables together, right? So I will get a third table where the data is combined. Or probably what I can do is, since my reports are already created using orders data, don't you think it will be better if I put orders new region data right below this over here? Since my column names are already in sequence, I won't have any issues. So what I will do is, I will keep my orders table selected. And now you will see there's an option of append queries. So if I simply click on append queries, now orders table will act as a master table. So when you click on append queries over here, this dialog box will come up. It will ask you, do you want to combine two tables or more than two tables? So I will go with the option of two tables. And over here, I will say, I want to concatenate orders new region. See, it is showing you also orders as current. That means that is the main table right now where the append is going to happen. So I will choose orders new region and I will click on OK. And that's it. Your step for append query has been added. And you can see in the formula row as well, it shows you tables.combine and this orders new region table has been combined with the orders table. Once this step is done, you simply have to click on close and apply. The moment you will click on close and apply, your append query will come into effect and you will see your report will get updated according to the combined data. So let's have a look at it. Let's click on close and apply. So now technically after the append, you should start seeing the new region and new region 2 as well in the filters. So here we can see all my numbers have got updated and I can see new region and new region 2 coming up in the slicer as well. So that's how you do the append queries in Power BI. I hope you all would have understood this. If you really like the video, please do like and subscribe to our channel. Thanks for watching everyone.